hello, you all, because today we are going to be talking about the beef between a father and a son, Romeo Miller versus Master P, you all. Master P had the goodness to make a post about Twitch, which, I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with saying your condolences.
Right. But, his daughter died through suicide not too long ago, this year.
Master P?
Yeah, that's why. His daughter, who is 29, Romeo's, I think, younger sister, died from suicide. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so he sent his condolences out.
Yeah.
And his son, Romeo Miller, said that, today was the last straw for me with you, Dad.
Oh, wow.
For you to sit out here and send condolences to somebody talking about mental health and all this stuff when you have children who have come to you about suicide, mental health, and depression, and you've done nothing, is disgusting to me.
Oh, wow.
And he says that you are here basically trying to pretend to be something that you're not.
Wow.
You have not been a present father and all this stuff. Basically, he went off on his daddy.
Wow.
His daddy came back talking about how I've been there for you and all this stuff. Yeah. I've done the best I could, and you're a grown man. Stop putting your stuff on social media so for people to be feeling sorry for you, and how this, that, and the third, or whatever. Just trying to basically be like, listen, it is what it is. But Romeo, he still went out, responding to comments and stuff like that, or whatever. Somebody in particular was like, these kids are so ungrateful. You set them up for success, and now they just want to basically spit on you and try to say something, try to talk to you about something that you're not or whatever. And he says, I don't even know what the hell you were talking about. Me and all of my siblings are broke. We have no money. We are living month by month, paycheck to paycheck. Wow. He has not done anything for us. Just because you put us in a house does not mean that you have created generational wealth. You have done none of the sort. Anyway, after that,
and I know he did also say that he had to pay $100,000 for his dad for his IRS taxes.
Yes, and then also on top of that, he says that my dad has never paid me for anything, but what he would do is
for
the work. He said he will never pay his family, but he will go and pay people that he's gotten from out there because he wants to have a good reputation. But he never did that for his family. And then I think he had also said that his dad now wants to come out on some hill with some green background, and he wants to be like, I apologize to you, son, if I ever did anything wrong. I don't know who he was talking to. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, you could actually just have called him. Yeah. And y'all could have actually sat down man to man and created a video and put it out there. Yeah. That was my thing. That was number one. Number two,
that would have been a good thing.
Exactly.
Where you both are talking and then you just put that out there. This was our conversation.
We squashed it. We're okay. Whatever. Okay. We're going to move better as people. Move forward as better people or whatever. Then, secondly, my thing was, the next day, I think this was like 2 days ago, because I've been following this story for a while. Mom didn't really want to talk about it. But then Master P, he comes out or whatever, and he does some video of him at Walmart or whatever. He says, it's a blessing to be a blessing. God is good. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been helping my community, giving back. So he was in Walmart trying to buy a whole bunch of Christmas gifts for a whole bunch of kids and people. Yeah, I thought, instead of you doing all that, trying to be a fraud and trying to do PR stunts and all this shit, why don't you go and make sure your kids are set up? Yeah. I feel like it's so degenerate. And, you've talked about it, we've talked about it. Yeah. Only in the black community, I feel that it's like essential that kids suffer. Yeah.
It's like you were saying, we still have that poverty mindset.
Like, it's a poverty mindset. Yeah. It's like you want to hold all this money. Like, why are you not paying your kids? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Who's putting in work for you?
Who's putting in work and all this stuff, but you want to pay somebody else. Yeah. Like, why have you not bought homes for your kids? Yeah. Like, you look at the white community.
Or any community.
Any community,
Let's
really.
Talk about any community.
Really.
And really, you can even add African communities, because there's some African communities.
You have even told me stories where
for their children, and they will set them up very nicely. Yes, so that
whether that's having your children live with you until they get on their feet, whether that's providing for them. Like the man who made Euphoria was a drug addict living with his daddy. Yeah. He finally said at 30, I want to make a story. 30s, I want to make a story about my drug life, but let me go and do it with 18 or 20-year-olds and let them be pretending like they're high schoolers, and we're going to write a story about my life. His daddy gave him the money, even though he wasn't doing, helped him out, you know? Even though he wasn't doing shits with his life at 30, he helped his child out.
And now he can actually say he's a producer or a filmmaker or whatever.
It makes no sense for you to. It makes no sense for you to literally leave your kids out for the wolves, especially when you are a black millionaire, black billionaire, whatever. Like, what's the point of working so hard, having all those millions, if you're not buying homes, you're not buying properties, you're not like creating jobs for your kids to work at? What do other communities do? Oh, I have this business. My daughter, my son, you always will have a job here. You will always be able to make money. I have set you up well. You never have to be living paycheck to paycheck, month to month. You always have a job here. I have set you up for success. So whenever you want to go and do your own thing and thrive, you can, because I provided you money. I've allowed you the space and the grace to grow. I've given you forgiveness in life so that you can actually be who you want to be or whatever. Even if you decide not to do shit with your life, you have a job. Come work in my company. Keep this going. What I have created for us. It makes no sense that your kids are here living month to month, paycheck by paycheck. You've never paid them. You don't have houses for them to live there. Like, actually buy the home. Cash down. Not paying mortgages and all this stuff. Let them stay there. Have those homes. Buy that land. Create stuff where your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-great-grandchildren can come to a business, come to a company where they can thrive, where where they know that they are always okay, even if they fall in life. My family's legacy. Let's continue to thrive that. But no, you have these men who are degenerate. Let me buy one home, and yes, I've done something good. When your children are older, they're 50, 60, 70 years old, and they can't do shit for you when you are broke, do not look at them and say, do not look at them and say, oh, why aren't you here for me? Where were you when I needed you when I was younger? Nowhere to be found. And you know, also somebody told us that, you know who's really sitting in nursing homes by themselves with nobody visiting them?
That was your dad.
And my dad told me that. Because he worked at a nursing home. He said that it's black fathers, black men are rotting in nursing homes. Nobody are coming to visit them. Let's say kids, sins of the fathers, not being a present father, not being there for your kids, not showing up, not setting them onto the path of success. You can't say, oh, 18, you're out my house, go make it work, and then expect for them to come and help you when you're dying and you have been in a nursing home.
Look at that.
It don't work that way.
Look at that guy Fetterman, who just wanted. Didn't he become governor of Pennsylvania? He has been living in his father's house all this time. The father. I don't know if he's living in his house, but the father said he has been supporting him all these years until the man finally now became something. You know, all the way up into his 40s, the father was supporting him. Nobody knew anything. That father didn't go on social media to say,
talking about him, how you're a grown man, get yourself together,
blah, 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 blah. Now, isn't he governor of Pennsylvania? Like, it is only in our community that does this. I have an uncle who was very wealthy, and he was in the bank game, has 3 sons. The sons were not really doing well in school. He sent them off to London to go to school there. Like, made sure they were straight. They didn't have to work. Just focus on your schooling. It took them a while, like over the usual 4 years. It took them a while. When they were done, come back to Sierra Leone, have jobs waiting for them, like good jobs in the bank. And then also letting them know, when you come, we're going to have a wife for you. The right kind of woman that you will marry. We will pay for the wedding, everything. And for your home as a present.
Even as the Jewish community present. Do that. Like, they set their family up.
They set the family up. Now those 3 boys, they're doing so well. So well.
Yeah.
You know? And guess what? When their father gets older, who is going to be there? Now their father is almost 80. Who is going to be there for them? Those boys are going to make sure their father never has to want for anything.
Yes. They will probably take their sick their sick dad, bring them into their house, hire a nurse for him, make sure he's good, make sure that he needs everything, make sure that he's comfortable, all that stuff. So when you are dying, you're not dying by yourself. You're not dying a miserable, lonely effing life because you didn't do shit for your kids, because you given them trauma instead of success. It don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like this is what is done in other communities. All the other communities do it, but I only see us coming out. Our children have to come out on social media and say what an awful father we were, and then the fathers come out, you grown, you 30, you better get it together and whatever, and then we as a community, we sit there and we say
yes, Dad, he need to get his shit together.
Yep, so ungrateful. And that is why we're the ones who are ending up dying alone. We're the ones who are having issues in our community. We're not building community. Where is this going to go?
And this is why we are less than the Asians in America. We're less than the Asians who have one child per family.
Yeah,
that's some crazy shit. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Well, now China is trying to tell more.
Well, yes, but that was how it was for how many years?
I know.
We're less than that.
We're not trying to build family. Look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates dropped out. He was a college dropout. Who helped him so that he can stand with his whole Microsoft and all this stuff?
Wasn't his daddy who invested in him?
His father and the father's friends who invested in him. He gave him that seed money for him to get to where he needs to get to. The same thing with what's the guy's name? Mark Zuckerberg. Like, we don't do that. It just pisses me off when I see parents who are black and they're millionaires or billionaires, and they have the nerve to be here talking about, yeah, you're 30 and you grow. I mean, did you even see that guy? I used to love his music. I stopped listening to him after I saw him with his son, Brian McKnight.
Oh,
Brian
yes,
McKnight.
that's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family actually knows his first wife's family. But, like, just foolishness. When are we going to just get it together and just be there for our children and just say, you know something, let me set you up so that you are standing well. You know, those families, Bill Gates, isn't he continuing his father's legacy? I mean, whether that...
I mean, it's nothing that we're proud of as a people,
I mean, that's
but
not
he's
a very good
it.
legacy. Talk about depopulating the earth. However, he's following into his father's footsteps. You know, he is continuing. And guess what? His children also will continue in that vein. Yeah. You know, like, it's just ridiculous.
Black people as a whole would just say, let's invest in our children, let's be there for our children, let's give them grace and forgiveness, your kids will continue to do the same thing for their kids, and that's how you develop generational wealth, just by changing your mentality. Not paying your kids because you want to hold on to money is stupid. It's actually stupid. Now your son has you out here trying to do some PR campaign about how you're some good person and how you've been holding your community down. Who gives a shit about holding your community down? You can't even hold down your own family community. Your immediate family. You can't even hold them down. Who gives a damn if you're going to buy some toys for them, the community? Who cares?
Generosity begins at home.
Facts.
Charity begins at home, you know? But you know who I don't think I'll ever see their child come out to talk about nonsense like this, or the father also come out and talk about this rubbish? LeBron James.
No.
I know he's going to make sure his kids are just fine.
Yes.
They're set up for life. Because like he said, when I got this money, I was going to ensure that my family will never, ever, ever have to want for anything. Yes. And that's how your mentality has to be. Some kids are late bloomers. Yeah. Some kids, you know, and yes, you don't call them kids anymore. But at the end of the day, stop. And one advice that I'll give to parents, and I always try to tell my ex, do not compare your children to another set of children. And the reason why is that family, that other family, doesn't know the intricacies of your own family. They don't know all the stuff that has gone on. You do. Yeah. So don't compare and say, oh, you're supposed to be like this person or that person. You make sure that your kids are standing, because when they're standing strong, that's what's going to build your legacy for generations to come. You don't want your money just to stay with you and die with you. For what?
I mean, like, You can't take the money with you to the grave. It's not like you're going to buy yourself into heaven, honey.
The money too. What is? And I think there's a lot of hurt when Romeo said the thing about you never listened to someone, us, your children.
When we were crying out to you about suicide, depression, all that stuff. Because his sister committed suicide. I just totally forgot about that.
That had to be. I mean, that's such a hard blow because I don't know if the daughter talked to him about it, and maybe sometimes.
Well, from Romeo Miller, it don't sound like he did.
But what I'm saying, it's a hard thing. And I know that must have broken his heart to hear his son say that. But also the children are also hurting. Yes, you lost a daughter. They also lost a sibling. And I don't know how close you were to your daughter, and I don't know if they were closer to her than you were, but it's a family that's hurting. And I just really wish that instead of you guys coming and doing tit for tat on social media, you have to be the adult. You're telling him, come to me like a man. Why don't you go to him like a man? Why are you up on the hill talking to us? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you take your advice, go to him, be the parent, right? Sit down with him and just say, son, let me start with saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are right. I didn't hear her. I actually didn't hear her, and I can't imagine what you're going through. Let's talk about this. I mean, do you think we can film it just so that, let people
we don't
see
have
the
to
realness?
film it.
We don't have to film it.
No, we can literally at the end of it be like, we have talked.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're sorry we put this on social media, whatever. But have that talk privately. Don't do that shit on no. Because then you start faking responses. How should I look on camera?
Exactly.
How should I feel? Maybe I should be looking all extra sad. Instead of you actually feeling and hearing what your child says.
And then
some things don't need to be
else,
on social media.
Maybe Romeo will be the one. If you do it right, Dad, maybe Romeo will be the one who will go on social media and say, he reached out, we really did talk for the first time in my life, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And maybe he'll be the one to even put out a statement.
Yeah.
But you have to come from a genuine place. Yeah. You here doing this whole PR campaign and out you're on the hill and now you're at Walmart getting...
And this is how I am. I am blessed, so I bless others. Why don't you start blessing...
your family. Yeah. Why don't you go buy your son a house? Why don't you make sure that they have jobs? Why don't you make sure that you're creating generational wealth?
And then if he's working...
Instead of generational trauma.
Paycheck to paycheck, he probably ain't got much money to pay for some presents for his kids this Christmas. Instead of you going to Walmart doing that, why don't you go to your children, give them those toys, and say, hey, let your kids give me a list. I'm going to go to Walmart with them, and I'm going to buy them what they want.
Or why don't you go buy them some stocks? Who was that guy who was buying stocks?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
That's
he buys all of his family every Christmas stock.
Yes.
Why don't you do that?
Once a year. Christmas, but once a year, when they all meet, he buys them stocks.
Yeah.
So that all these years they are growing,
Right.
Like, you guys just have to get to this space where it's like, like young adults. The other thing you have to understand, when children are going from that teenager to a young adult, they're trying to come into their own. They are also fighting with themselves a lot. Yeah. Trying to see what their values are. Okay?
Yeah.
Help them grow into that. But a lot of times what happens, especially in our communities, and especially in our community, it's kind of like, don't give me no lip, boy. Don't be disrespectful. They're trying to come into their own. Sometimes there will be some fire, but then that's when you have to guide them as to, okay, I see, it seems as though you're having your little attitude, but there's a way to kind of talk to me. Yeah. Just talk to me like a human being.
Facts.
Like I'm your dad, but I have feelings as well. Don't just yell at me or raise your voice or whatever.
It's always a way to talk to somebody respectfully.
Calm down, because when you do that, you're teaching them really how to express themselves even when they're emotional.
Yeah.
But when they get emotional because of their hormones and because of what they're going through, trying to become a teenager into young adulthood, into becoming a man or a woman, if you meet that with fire as well, you're never really teaching them a damn thing.
No.
And there's just going to end up being resentment.
Yeah.
Okay? This is why you as a parent have to really deal with your own trauma. And you got to really heal from those things that trigger you so much.
Yeah.
Because you're acting like a man who is triggered. Your son said something. It's a cry for help. But you're triggered. You find it disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know? And I see it's a lot in our community because a lot of us are not in therapy.
Yeah.
And we have not started on that journey that all of us must go on. You either do it when you're young, or you can do it when you're 80 or 100.
We need to follow the journey
But
of self.
you got to go on that journey of
Yes.
self-healing, self-discovery, and really mastering who you are.
Yeah.
Like, get all that shit under control.
Hello.
You can't let your emotions and all this stuff. You can't have young adults triggering you so easily. You're disrespectful. Like,
Yeah. But I think that was our statement on it. I hope you guys could hear us with the wind. But
I know it's windy.
I know.
I
But
should be yelling out
no,
loud,
you were
but-
good. You were good. But yeah, y'all, it's Mary.
And
We want you all to like,
subscribe,
share,
and comment. And
down below.
we really wish and hope that's what we're sending out. That that Miller family really work their shit out and become closer. Someone passed away. I'm sure she will want to have you guys coming close, and not like astray like this, estranged like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.